you're sitting here now as a father-to-be. You are either a first-time father-to-be or you've subsequently had children. And the fact is that if you're here for the first time, then you are experiencing the pregnancy is a something. From the moment that woman conceives, that baby is growing inside her at the speed of light. Go to some resource and take a look week by week how your baby develops. As the baby develops, that woman's body is flooded with metabolic waste products. And during the conception to 12 weeks is when women can just go from lovely to emotional, from liking sex to don't touch me, to feeling physically fine, to vomiting several times a day. It is a wild ride. And this is why it's so important for you to keep up with this wild ride, because her wild ride is impacting you. Now, what is the reality? What's the difference now between men and women? Well, she's pregnant every nanosecond of the time. It's just the reality. She can't get out of it. Yes, she may have a miscarriage, or you may terminate the pregnancy. But if you carry the pregnancy onward, every single nanosecond of this woman's life is consumed by the growth of the baby inside her, which for many women feels like a stranger, an alien, this thing that takes over her body. So you have to understand that, because you can walk out of the door to work and forget about it. Now, it's true, if you have children, you know that your children are always on your mind. But the reality is, women and men both, you walk out the door and leave your kids with a babysitter or with a grandparent, out of sight, out of mind. And to a large extent, once that happens, you're really glad to get them out of your mind. But pregnancy, you can't get out of your mind. And so it's really important for you to know what to do. Now, just keep in mind that these skills developed at this transition period where birth was really women's business in most developed countries. For a large part, most women went into the hospital. Some countries you did have home births. But even in countries that had home births, men were told, go away, leave it to the midwife. So men were disengaged during birth, and often they were disengaged during pregnancy because nobody told them what to do. Now, as I said before, if you live in a particular culture, you may have cultural norms around pregnancy. So you want to listen to your own mind about when the cultural norm is being part of you, and when, as a man living in a modern culture, you and your partner, as a nuclear family, even if you have extended family living with you, are developing what to do during pregnancy. So it's really important for you to understand the difference now between the practical hands-on skills that you'll learn in the third phase of pregnancy, 24 to 36 weeks and onward, from the subjective soft skills, or the 10 skills that you're going to learn now. Now, all skills ultimately are action-based. Okay, so if it's a subjective skill, it still means it has an action. That action can take place inside you, or it can come out of you as an action towards others. If you learn something pragmatic, then you are having to couple your mind to your body. So your cortex, your thinking part of your brain, where humans have skills, and you're going to link into your body. And that's where mastery comes into it. The better you are at something, the more you refine it. And you do it by an intentional choice. You have a conscious choice, and you're able to do that. So fathers taught me, and I'm teaching you. So what you're experiencing now is the tens and thousands of birthing better dads who are standing right up behind me and have your back. Now it's time to introduce you to the 10 skills. And in this course, we're going to go over those skills in detail. They're subjective, so just hold your breath or do whatever you need to do. Kindness, patience, attention to detail, being able to see what needs to be done and doing it, growing a second set of eyes and a second set of arms, humor, delight, and clarity. In the Academy for Fathers-to-Be, in all of these 5 phases of pregnancy, conception to 12 weeks, 12 weeks to 24 weeks, 24 weeks to 36 weeks, 36 weeks to the due date or to the birth, and then the birth. Birth is still pregnancy. It is after the birth that the woman is no longer pregnant. She is pregnant until she gives birth to your baby. And that birth can be at home, in the hospital, without any medical care, with lots of medical care. It can be a labor and a vaginal birth. It can be a labor and an unplanned cesarean. It can be a planned cesarean. You can love the type of birth that you have. You can hate it. It doesn't matter. Birthing Better fathers and families use skills for every type of birth. Let me give you another secret. You're going to be told to make a birth plan. Your partner has an image of what she wants birth to be like. You do too. Yours is a bit simpler. You just want a healthy partner and a healthy baby. She wants that too, but she is experiencing it firsthand. You're outside of this whole experience until the baby is born. But you have to become involved because your role is equally important. So she's going to have a vision of the birth that she wants. And she has been told since the 80s, not since the 70s, but since the 80s, to write that vision down. That's called a birth plan. What do you want? What do you don't want? And those birth plans can be pages and pages and pages. They can be like items of a menu or a wish list. Everything. I want to bring this to the hospital. I want music. I want, my family to be at the home birth. I want to be left alone. No, I want people to help me. I want massages. No, I don't. I want music. No, I don't. I want to eat. This is what I want to eat. You have a bag full. You're going to go to classes and you're going to feel, bring the world to the birth. But you need to bring skills to the birth because there is no way to know what your birth's going to be like. As simple as that. Okay, even if this is your 20th baby, you know that. Your other 19 births have not been alike. They've all been uniquely different. And women know this. In our core, we know that we don't know what the birth's going to be like. But we're doing everything we can to control staying on top of something we have no control over. Your job is to help her stay in control, and it starts from conception to 12 weeks, because if she doesn't want sex but is vomiting, trust me, she wants you to apply these skills to her right now. So it's really important that these skills aren't skills that came from my head. They aren't even skills that came from women. They are skills that came from other men like you, where they began to realize how they could integrate into this pregnancy and become skilled as, what are you first? A human being. What are you next? A man. What are you next? Well, actually, you're a father next, because even if you aren't in a relationship with your partner, you are going to be a father, whether you see this child or not. And no matter how this child is born, this is a journey that you and this baby and the baby's mother take. So it's important to understand that the reason that you become skilled is the same reason you learn to drive a car, right? You learn to drive a car because you wanted to get someplace in space, right? But before you could do that, you had to learn a set of skills. And society said to everybody who wants to drive a car, you have to learn the same set of skills, then show somebody that you know how to use them. And every nanosecond you are behind the wheel of the car, society expects you, not 50%, not 80%, not even 90%, 95, 97, 98% of that time. Every nanosecond you are driving a vehicle. Society expects you to drive that vehicle well, to adjust, adapt, and use your skills sensibly. Some people don't. We know that. But birth is that. Pregnancy is that. So in pregnancy, you get a longer time to develop skills. In birth, you get a shorter time to use them. But the birth of your child will be a memory you have the rest of your life. And if you step up to the plate and become highly skilled as a human being, you are never, ever going to regret this. So now you know what the 10 skills are, and each of the lectures from now on is going to focus on one of those skills. Simple, easy peasy. And you'll have resources to go along with it. Okay, so see ya when we talk about kindness.